My husband's mother called a family meeting and announced, "Since you married our son, you now owe us half your salary every month." My husband nodded and said, "It's only fair." I stood up and smirked, "Well, then you won't mind if I stop working." Their smug faces dropped as reality hit. I married Derek 3 years ago. I was 26 at the time, working in data analytics, making good money. Derek? Not so much. He had big dreams but no real plans. Always jumping from one business idea to another, claiming he was on the verge of something great. I believed in him at first. Thought he just needed time. Turns out he needed a full-time sponsor, and I was dumb enough to play the role. For 3 years, I paid most of the bills. Rent? Me. Groceries? Me. Health insurance? Me. Derek contributed when he could, which wasn't often. His parents, especially his mom Marlene, always made excuses for him. He's just finding himself. Some people take longer to succeed. You should support your husband. I thought it was temporary. I thought he would grow up. I was wrong. One day, Derek told me his mom wanted us to come over for a family meeting. I assumed it was about his latest financial disaster, which happened often. Maybe she wanted to brainstorm ways to invest in his next big idea. I had no clue I was about to be ambushed. We get to Marlene's house, and the entire family is there. His dad Bob, his brothers Aaron and Chris, their wives, even Marlene's sister. Everyone is sitting in the living room, serious expressions, like they were about to discuss a national crisis. I sit next to Derek. He doesn't seem nervous. In fact, he looks smug. Marlene clears her throat, clasping her hands like she's making some big announcement. "Since you married into this family, you now owe us half your salary every month." Just like that. Like she was stating a simple fact. I laughed. I actually laughed because I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. "It's only fair," Derek said, nodding along like a trained parrot. "We all share what we have, and right now, you have more than all of us. You have got to be kidding me." "Let me get this straight," I said, looking around. "You want me to just hand over half my paycheck to you all? Every single month?" Marlene smiled like she was doing me a favor. "We're family, honey. And family helps each other." I looked at Aaron and Chris. "So, you guys are contributing too?" Chris smirked. "Nah, I don't make enough." Aaron wouldn't even look at me. I turned back to Derek. "And you? Are you putting in half of whatever you make?" Silence. Marlene huffed like I was being difficult. "Sweetheart, you make more than enough to take care of all of us. We've supported Derek his whole life, and now it's your turn. We're a unit, and we have to take care of each other." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Supported Derek? I repeated. "You mean you enabled him?" Marlene's face twitched. Derek grabbed my hand, giving me the "please don't embarrass me" look. "It's just money, babe," he said softly. "You still get to keep half." Oh. Oh, okay. I get it now. This was a plan. A long con. And I was the sucker. I stood up, grabbed my purse, and smiled. "Well then, you won't mind if I stop working altogether. If my money is our money, then I should get a say in how it's used, right? And I say I'm done." I've never seen a group of people look so stupid at the same time. "You wouldn't," Marlene said, her voice rising. "You're overreacting," Derek said quickly. Chris laughed nervously. "Come on, don't be dramatic," he muttered. I turned to Marlene. "Do you even hear yourselves? You're not asking for help. You're demanding I become your personal ATM." Marlene lost it. "You selfish little..." I walked out. Derek chased after me. "Are you serious right now?" Derek snapped when we got outside. I turned to face him. "Completely. You expect me to just hand over half of my paycheck like I owe you? Like I owe them?" "It's about family," he said, like that was an actual reason. "No, it's about control. It's about you not wanting to work while I fund your entire family's lifestyle. And I'm done." Derek ran his hands through his hair. "Look, babe, I know." "No more babe. You showed me exactly where I stand in this family. I'm just the money. That's all I am to you." "That's not true." "Really?" I crossed my arms. "Would you have told me about this little plan if I made less money?" Silence. That's what I thought. I didn't go home with him. I went straight to a friend's house and spent the night. And while I was lying there in bed, staring at the ceiling, I realized something. I had been stupidly blind. This wasn't out of nowhere. There had been so many signs. Derek never taking real steps to get a stable job. Marlene always talking about how women should contribute, but never holding her sons accountable. The way Derek would defend his family no matter what, even when they were clearly in the wrong. They had been grooming me for this exact moment. And now, they thought I would just hand over my future. No, not happening. I had a decision to make. I knew Derek wouldn't back down. Even if I refused now, he'd keep pushing, keep trying to wear me down. And even if I gave in, what then? They'd ask for more. They'd tell me I wasn't doing enough. They'd make me feel like I owed them my success. No. I needed a way out. And I needed it fast. I woke up the next morning in my friend's guest room, feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. My phone was blowing up. 10 missed calls from Derek. 5 from Marlene. A string of texts that went from, let's talk, to full-blown threats. I ignored them all. I wasn't ready to deal with them yet. Not until I had a plan. I didn't go home. Instead, I went to work like nothing had happened. It felt weird, like I was living a double life. Sitting in meetings, analyzing data, while my entire marriage was crumbling in the background. By noon, I had a new text from Derek. If you don't come home, I'm moving your stuff out. Oh! So now we were playing games? I replied, go ahead. Just make sure you don't touch anything I bought. Shouldn't be hard since I paid for almost everything in that apartment. Silence. An hour later, another text. You're being ridiculous. We need to talk. No, we didn't. I left him on read. That night, I checked into a hotel. I wasn't ready to face him alone just yet. I sat on the bed, scrolling through my texts, thinking about my next move. I could, 1, go back, fight it out, and try to fix things, not likely. 2, pack up my things, leave for good, and never look back. 3, make them regret ever messing with me. Guess which one I picked? The next day, I showed up at our apartment while Derek was at work. I changed the locks. Then, I went through every receipt, bank statement, and online order confirmation I could find. Everything that proved what I paid for. The rent, the furniture, the car insurance, the damn Wi-Fi. By the time I was done, I had a solid list of what was mine. And I wasn't leaving without it. Derek came home at 6 p.m. He tried his key. It didn't work. I opened the door just enough to see his stupid, shocked face. What the hell is this? I pay for this apartment, I said. If you want in, you can ask nicely. Or better yet, get your own place. His face turned red. You're insane. No, I'm just done being used. You can't do this. I already did. He shoved the door, trying to push past me. But I had a surprise waiting. My friend Lisa stepped into view. Lisa is ex-military, built like a tank. And she doesn't take crap from anyone. I'd rethink that, buddy, she said, crossing her arms. Derek froze. Lisa smiled. We're just here to collect her things. You know, since she's the one who actually paid for them. Derek looked ready to explode. You're ruining everything. No, I corrected. You did that all by yourself. As expected, Marlene got involved immediately. She called me that night, screaming. You locked my son out of his own home? No, I locked myself into my home. You're trying to destroy this family. Funny, I thought this family was all about helping each other. Where's my help, Marlene? You little, I hung up. The next morning, I woke up to a legal-sounding email from Marlene. She must have Googled how to sound like a lawyer because it was a mess. You are illegally withholding financial contributions from your spouse, which constitutes financial abuse. If you do not immediately pay your required share to the family, we will pursue legal action. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my coffee. Legal action? For not giving them my paycheck? I forwarded it to my lawyer, who replied with one sentence. This is nonsense. Ignore it. So I did. But I knew they weren't done. Marlene was desperate. And desperate people do stupid things. A week later, I got a call from my bank. We have a flagged transaction on your joint account. I don't have a joint account. It's under Derek's name, but your paycheck was deposited into it. And someone just tried to withdraw $5,000. My stomach dropped. That lying sack of garbage. I went straight to the bank. Turns out, Derek had linked my payroll direct deposit to his account without my permission. I sat across from the bank manager, who was already suspicious. Can you prove you didn't authorize this? Oh, I could prove it. I pulled up emails, texts, and screenshots. Derek had no access to my work accounts. There was no written authorization. This was fraud. Would you like to report this as identity theft? The manager asked. I smiled. Yes, I would. When Derek found out I froze the account and filed a fraud claim, he lost it. You just ruined me. No, you ruined yourself. Then he played his last pathetic card. I love you. We can fix this. I stared at him. You stole from me. You let your family treat me like an ATM. You tried to trap me. There's nothing left to fix. And that's when I knew. It was time to end this for good. After filing the fraud claim, I cut all financial ties with Derek. New bank account? Done. Credit cards? Locked. Payroll direct deposit? Changed. Derek was officially on his own. I was expecting more texts, more threats, maybe some dramatic tantrums. What I wasn't expecting was what happened next. A week after shutting Derek out, I got a letter in the mail. It was divorce papers, but something was off. First of all, I hadn't filed for divorce yet. Second, the papers listed a financial agreement I never agreed to. It stated that I had to pay Derek $2,500 a month in spousal support. I had to cover his health insurance. I had to surrender 50% of my savings. I stared at the papers. Was this some kind of joke? No lawyer would ever draft something this one-sided unless Derek and Marlene faked them. I called the courthouse. No record of a divorce filing. They forged the documents. I texted Derek, "Nice try. Those papers are fake." No response. So I did what any sane person would do. I took the papers to a real lawyer. The moment he looked at them, he laughed. "This isn't just fake. It's illegal. Did they think you wouldn't check?" Apparently, yes, they did. So I had two options. 1, ignore it and move on. 2, take legal action and make them regret it. Guess which one I picked? With my lawyer's help, I filed a lawsuit against Derek and Marlene for fraud and attempted financial coercion. Fraud for forging legal documents. Financial coercion for trying to extort money from me. I also filed a separate police report. Derek wasn't just lazy, he was a criminal. Marlene wasn't just controlling, she was an accomplice. They thought they could trap me. Instead, they backed themselves into a corner. 2 weeks later, Derek called me in full panic mode. "You need to drop the charges." Why would I do that? The cops came to my job. They questioned me in front of my boss. Maybe you shouldn't have committed fraud? Derek had never faced real consequences before. Marlene had always bailed him out. But this time, no one could save him. Marlene tried. She showed up at my job, stormed into the lobby, started screaming about how I was ruining her son's life. Security had to escort her out. Her last words before they dragged her away: "You'll regret this." She was right. Because the next thing she did changed everything. A week after her meltdown, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Derek's landlord. "I'm calling because I understand you were financially responsible for Derek's rent." No, I wasn't. That's strange. Your name is listed as the co-signer on his lease. What? I had never signed anything for Derek's apartment, which meant he, or Marlene, had forged my signature. Again. I asked the landlord to send me a copy of the lease. Sure enough, my signature was on it. But it wasn't mine. Marlene had faked it. This wasn't just fraud. This was identity theft. At this point, I had enough evidence to bury them. I filed another police report. Marlene got a visit from the cops. This time, she didn't storm into my job or threaten me over the phone. She went silent. Why? Because she knew. She had dug her own grave. And I was more than happy to let her fall into it. Derek finally broke. One night, I got a text from an unknown number. It was him. "I'm sorry." For what? Everything. I stared at the screen. I should have felt something. But I didn't. Because I knew this wasn't real regret. Derek wasn't sorry for what he did. He was sorry for getting caught. And I was finally free. After Derek's pathetic attempt at an apology, I knew I was on the home stretch. The fraud charges against him and Marlene were pending investigation. The cops had already questioned both of them, and things were looking bad, really bad. Marlene, who had spent years controlling everyone around her, was now in panic mode. She wasn't as powerful as she thought. And Derek? He was spiraling. And then, the biggest revelation came out. One evening, I was sitting on my couch, going through my emails when a new one popped up. Subject: urgent, you need to see this. It was from a woman I didn't recognize. "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I dated Derek a few years ago. I just found out about everything going on and I think you need to know something." Attached was a series of screenshots. Text messages between Derek and Marlene. Bank statements with payments labeled "Mom, loan repayment." A legal document with my forged signature. And the worst? A contract with my name on it, agreeing to financially support Marlene for 5 years. It was dated before Derek and I even got married. Meaning? This was their plan all along. I wasn't the wife. I was the retirement plan. I didn't text Derek. I didn't call. I went straight to Marlene's house. When she opened the door, her fake smile dropped instantly. "You need to leave." I stepped inside anyway. "You want to explain this?" I said, holding up my phone. Her eyes darted to the screen. The messages. The contract. The proof. She swallowed hard. For the first time, she looked nervous. I don't know what you think you found, but drop the act, Marlene." I snapped. "You planned this. You planned all of this. Before we were even married, you were setting me up to bankroll your pathetic family." She opened her mouth to deny it, but then Derek walked in. His face went white. "What's going on?" "Ask your mother." I said, still holding up my phone. He glanced at the screen, and his entire body stiffened. Busted. Marlene tried to recover. That's old. That's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. I shouted. You knew. I turned to Derek. You knew she was using me, and you went along with it. He couldn't even look at me. Say it. I dared him. Say it to my face. Say you didn't know. Silence. That was all the confirmation I needed. You're a liar. A con artist. A coward. My voice was shaking with anger. I spent years thinking you were just lost, just trying to find yourself, but no. You knew exactly what you were doing. He finally snapped. What was I supposed to do? Derek yelled. You had everything. A career, money, mom was struggling. I had nothing. So instead of being a man and working for your own life, you decided to steal mine? Marlene jumped in. Don't talk to him like that. He's your husband. Not anymore. She froze. What? I'm done. I already started divorce proceedings. I'm taking back everything that's mine, and after this fraud case goes through, you and your son can ROT together. Marlene screamed. Derek begged. But I walked out and never looked back. A few weeks later, the fraud case wrapped up. Derek was charged with identity theft and fraud. He got probation and a record, which meant getting a job was going to be a nightmare. Marlene was forced to pay fines for forging legal documents. She tried to fight it in court, but the judge saw right through her lies. Their entire family fell apart. Aaron and Chris, who always laughed at my expense, turned on Derek when he couldn't mooch off me anymore. And me? I thrived. Got an even better job. Moved to a new place, without a single toxic leech around me. Met someone new. Someone who actually respects me. And the best part? I never had to deal with them again.